Today is November the 29th. Today, we'll begin to look at Israel in Babylon. Yesterday, we concluded our study seeing the fall of Jerusalem and the destruction of the temple. Israel is taken captive into Babylon. There are now great communities of Israel south in Alexandria in Egypt, and then north in Babylon, or at least in the Babylonian Empire. Israel existed in the Babylonian Empire for hundreds and hundreds of years. In fact, the Babylonian, or Mesopotamia at least, became a cultural center for Judaism. That might sound a little strange, but the reality is this is where Abraham came from. And the Jews who lived in Babylon saw themselves as going back to Abraham's roots. Now, according to the Bible, this took place during the first Babylonian Empire, all the way back into 500s BC. Israel is not allowed to leave the Babylonian Empire until around 537 BC, 539. All of this began to take place, the return under the Chaldeans. Now, all the way from 321 to 63 BC, Israel actually flourished in Mesopotamia under what was called the Seleucid dynasty. This was part of Alexander the Great's dynasty. He divided his kingdom up into four parts. The Seleucids took over Mesopotamia. Beginning in 247 BC, we have the Parthian Empire that begins to rule in Mesopotamia. They introduce Zoroastrianism. The Magi who come and visit Jesus are part of the Zoroastrian religion. This dynasty, this empire exists for almost 500 years, and Israel exists with them all the way through that time. Then, under the Sassanians, that would have taken place about 200 AD up to 650. Israel continued to exist during this period of time. The Babylonian Talmud is actually composed, compiled, and published. The book of Esther takes place fairly late during the Babylonian captivity, and it's shortly after the book of Esther that we see that Israel is allowed to return to Palestine under the Parthian Empire. But Esther takes place at the very, very end of the Babylonian Empire. King Artaxerxes, or Xerxes, as he's known in Esther, is in power. The first two chapters of Esther is really an introduction to what takes place. We see Xerxes calling for a banquet. He asks his queen Vashti to come. She refuses. So as a result, Xerxes divorces her and begins to look for a new queen. That new queen is Esther, who greatly pleases Xerxes. So we're introduced to Esther, who at this point keeps her heritage, her Jewish heritage, hidden from Xerxes. Mordecai is clearly identified as a Jew. He is one of the king's servants, and he uncovers a plot against King Xerxes. He denounces the plot, and Mordecai wins the favor of Artaxerxes. Now, starting next week, we'll see the real story of what takes place in the book of Esther. Like, follow, and subscribe to this devotional on whatever platform you use to listen to it. Email your questions to us at questions@becomehope.com. Tomorrow in the book of Psalms, we will see, like Pogo, that we have met the enemy and he is us.